All right, we are live. Hello. Welcome to the Couch Cooperative. My name is Ethan. I'm our Dungeon Master here, alongside all of my many players over there and all of our many characters down here as we continue through our 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons campaign, The Tomb of Annihilation. Now, if you are not looking at the Twitch movedom, so now technically the titles are up above. If you're not looking at that title, you're not noticing an incredibly important spot where it says that we are playing this on Meat Grinder mode. So this is an increased difficulty to the campaign mechanics. So a lot of people are going to die. It's going to be great. With that being said, we don't have any major announcements other than the fact technically we do have Christmas coming up in the holidays. So be graceful if at any point during the holidays, like in the midst of the holidays between Christmas and New Year's, if we don't have a day where we stream, just be graceful for that. Because there's 5 of us here, we have families, so be nice.
Lots of families.
Sorry. But with that being said, that's basically it. So just keep an eye out for that. Other than that, we have been posting some clips. We've been clipping moments, and if you want to see more moments, then what you need to do is you need to clip things. If you don't clip it, we can't do nothing with it. So clip moments. Let us know that you've clipped stuff so that we can use those. We'd love to use community submitted clips, I guess would be the best way to say it. But we've also been posting some clips, so check those out so you can catch on some of the fun moments of the sessions. But without further ado, we're going to go ahead and jump right in. So last we left off, 4 adventurers. Osa Balaka, a Cholton monk, Luthiel, otherwise known as Lute, a high elf wizard, Stuart the Griffin, a human cleric, and Sirthos Sailbreaker, a tiefling barbarian. 4 individuals who've never known each other have been hired by the merchant wizard known as Sindra Sylvain, a retired adventurer who has died a while ago. And as a result of this death curse kind of becoming a blight across the lands of Faerun, she's now slowly dying again. Now, she believes the cause of this death curse to be as a result of some necromantic artifact known as the Soulmonger, an artifact that she doesn't know the location of, but is confident through her sources with the Harpers, a large clandestine faction of intelligence in Faerun, that it is located somewhere in the jungle continent of Shult. So she teleported the 4 of you over, where you began to get yourself acclimated with the new land, and you were able to meet several individuals. So we had some people going to the Temple of Joaquin, some people going to the Temple of Timora, some people checking out to see if there were any forts nearby that they can get information from local, what would be like local law enforcement. But ultimately, you guys had gotten to get acclimated with a couple people. You met one of the 7 merchant princes of Port Nyanzaru, which is Joe Ball, who is the merchant prince in charge of servicing guides that will lead expeditions into the jungles of Chult, as well as getting ready to meet the merchant prince Wakanga Otamu, which is a friend of Sindra Sylvain and the person that she will be staying with during your guys' time here in Chult. You went to the Temple of Savras to get some divination from Grandfather Zatembe, who was the lead priest at the Temple of Savras, and had found him to be accosted by some very nefarious ne'er-do-wells, almost aggravating them to the point of conflict, but successful in diverting their attention towards 2 individuals that they were hunting down. You were able to acquire a little bit of some gold off of them for the information that you were able to provide, noting that they went north or southward, technically south, into the jungles of Chult, where their location is currently unknown. You then were able to, as a thank you, get Grandfather Zatembe to agree that he would commune with Savras in an attempt to divine anything concerning the location of the Soulmonger and see if there's any information he can provide to you. It was going to take him a full 24 hours in order to get that information. You guys are... So you don't have to wait for the 24 hours, mind you. He'll have that information, if you want to come back at a later time after you start leading into Chult, you'll be making several trips back and forth based on the types of materials you're able to bring out and, food, supplies, and all that fun stuff. But with that being said, where we pick up is right outside the merchant villa of Wakanga Otamu. It is an absolutely opulent and decadent home, multiple stories, and lavishly decorated, both in terms of the gardenry that kind of accents the building, but as well as just the actual design of the home itself. There are localized house guards that look unique to this particular merchant prince, who seem to be guarding both his life and property, and they let you in without any difficulty. It seems that they were expecting your arrival, especially with Sindra Sylvain with you, who had kind of stopped you at the end of our last session, saying that she was ready to bring you to Wakanga. And they bring you into the main foyer of the home, and it's absolutely just a lavish lifestyle that you expect all the merchant princes to live, but can see it firsthand in terms of just the grandiose nature of just their day-to-day. With servants and attendants just at the ready, they are capable of getting you guys in through the home rather quickly, bringing you to a very unique kind of trophy room. It seems that the first indication you get of Wakanga Otamu, who is in this trophy room, but in a chair kind of on the far end, that's right next to a multi-glass paned window wall that oversees a large portion of the Port Nyanzaru. Very beautiful view, but everything behind him is just arrays of these very eccentric and unique items, whether they be trophies from slain beasts and monstrosities you expect from the lands of Faerun that have been exported out and imported into Port Nyanzaru, to decadent rugs and intricate pottery, intricate murals. It's a very eclectic collection of items. He's a very wealthy man, and you can see that right away. He loves his things, is what you get the idea. Everything pristine condition, glass cased, not a dust mite in sight. And as you're brought in with Sindra in tow, you get to the edge of this large trophy room, and he swivels around in this chair and kind of picks himself up a little bit. And when he turns around, you immediately kind of get a good look at him. He's a lot older of a man. So he's got a very broad nose with a beard that is very dark black beard that kind of goes down to maybe just about an inch below his chin, where at that point it has 3 distinct braids. Those braids go even further, and they're braided with 2 golden clasps on each braid. So it's clasped in intervals. You see his ears are arranged with different types of hooped earrings. So he's got several hooped earrings that kind of cut across both his ears, and he's got these gold-plated large necklaces. And when I say necklaces, I don't mean chains. I mean like gold band necklace. So it's like a plate almost. He's in this very, very decadent blue and black robe, and on top of his head, he's got this what you would imagine to be a very luxurious silk head wrapping that covers all the way up to the front, and then it looks as if it catches his hair as it goes down, so the head covering goes behind his head and continues down, and you can see it poke out from the sides, kind of around his neck. He's got many rings on his hand, and he kind of opens up and kind of opens his hands in a welcoming gesture. Greetings, welcome to Port Nyanzaru. I am Wakanga Otamu. My pleasure to meet every single one of you. A friend to Sindra can be a friend to me. And you see Sindra kind of walks over and goes, "These were the ones that I've told you about, Wakanga. The ones who will go into the jungles of Chult and hopefully put a stop to all of this." Her mask, still this just ominous ominously stoic visage that she bears, and he puts like a warm hand kind of on her shoulder as kind of like a consolation, and kind of leans over and just goes, "Zindra, you do not need to worry yourself no more. Rest, sit. We have much to discuss, I'm sure, and we will get to the bottom of what must be done. I will act as a generous benefactor as possible. But, my friends, I would not be invitational if I did not provide refreshments. Food, drink. What can I get for you?"
Well, I would love a drink right now, to be quite honest with you.
The sailor has a liver of iron. We will have one of the finest wines brought from my vintner, and you may sample.
Do you have anything a bit rougher on the throat?
We do not live like peasants in here. And he snaps his fingers, and you can see an attendant runs out and comes back with this very beautiful bottle that has this like gold design that's built into the cork that wraps around the bottle, as it's, and the imagery on it is like a series of like wyverns that kind of wrap around it. He grabs that bottle. And then he goes ahead and uncorks it himself and hands it back to the attendant. The attendant goes ahead and pours it into a series of chalices, very opulent chalices. You may feel free to grab if you wish to partake in the drink. The food will be on the way, surely. We will have a fine selection of roasted meats, as well as, I imagine, potatoes, vegetables like broccoli, asparagus would be good enough. Yes? Like a stew of some sort.
I'll walk up to the little tray of wine goblets, and I'll grab two and very unmannerly, just not even try and enjoy the wine, but just quickly down the both and set them back on the...
He takes two?
Yeah, so he grabs two, he downs one, and I need you to go ahead and make a Constitution saving throw for me, please.
Oh, it's that strong?
Oh!
What are you giggling about?
Yeah, what the hell?
Who's making the throw?
Me?
Oh, darn it, dude. Man, I just rolled a nat 20.
An 11. What are you rolling for? An 11.
An 11. You grab the chalice and just down it, like a full chalice of this, whatever this wine is. You're not positive what it is. And the minute it hits your throat, you feel a small tingle against your nerves, against your taste buds. It has a vibrancy to it that you weren't expecting. And as it passes through your gullet and makes its way down through your esophagus, you immediately feel kind of almost in the midst of your throat, as well as kind of in the top part of your stomach, where you can really feel this small burn. And then it begins to grow rapidly. And then it begins to grow very rapidly. With an 11 con save, it is considered a failure, and you find yourself now in this like where your throat starts to feel very dry as it's hot, and so it feels as if it's draining all of your moisture. And you're starting to get very teary-eyed. Your nose, you're starting to get a signal, like your nose starting to run. You can attempt to drink this one, but you would have disadvantage on the con save.
I will attempt to drink this one. I'm gonna kind of with my clogged throat before I down the next one. I need to wash it down, and then just fucking chug the second one.
Okay,
so
make a con save at disadvantage.
Yeah.
An 11.
A what?
An 11.
An 11. What is your Constitution score?
A 15.
A 15. So that means you have a +2.
Yeah.
Very good. You find yourself unable to breathe for the next minute, but because you have a concentration score or ability modifier +2, you can hold your breath for 2 minutes. So for the
Thank
next
God.
minute, you literally are like
Okay.
unable to breathe because of how hot this is. And as that's happening, you guys just see Sirthos choking, like just gasping for air that he can't get in. Eyes are streaming with like you can see like snot. Dude, it's messy. It's very messy. And as that's happening, you guys we're like initially gonna go reach for the alcohol, and kind of hesitate a little bit.
I want to
You see Wakanda
continue
kind
to
of.
reach for it.
You go ahead and grab a chalice, and Wakanga goes, "My wines are not meant for your low-class style of drinking, as you can see. I hope you'll be fine." And looks over at Syndra. "You have certainly found a eclectic new bunch, I would say. This is... How positive are we about this group?" And you can see Syndra puts her head down and goes, "They're the only ones I could find after the last one."
Can I speak? Is my throat unclogged now?
Not yet.
And
Not yet.
that's
I'm gonna walk over to my party, and I'm gonna like put my arms onto them like I'm trying not to fucking die.
And
Yeah,
as
I'll-
his hands touch someone, then his everything kind of clears up a bit to where he gets this, and he gets this big breath.
What damned witch's brew was that? I've never drinking something so cursed before.
This, my friend, is a wine extracted from wyvern toxin.
What fools decided to put poison in liquor?
Toxin. Toxins are different than poisons, slightly.
Well,
And the most refined.
do I feel drunk now?
You get the impression that this is not the type of drink that's designed for inebriation.
yeah. I want to ask though. So I want to say, I noticed that when he touched me, he became able to breathe again. Is that significant? Or just
The effects have taken their toll.
Oh.
He's a lot better now.
As long as there's no significance there.
So, you all here to brave the jungles of Chol. And now you are here in my villa.
Yes.
He's kind of like looking at you expectantly to see if there's anything that you have to say.
What did you say? I didn't hear you. I'm sorry.
He basically says you're here to go into Chol, and now you find yourself in his home.
Can I stick my hand out?
You can.
Like to shake?
Yeah.
I want to thank you for inviting us to your home. It's very nice.
You have a strong Cholton accent, and he puts a fist to your chest, like right in between your pectorals. I heard of you, Balaka. Talroa threw you to the Executioner's Run quite some time ago. You found yourself alive. It seems I've spent a long time in Faerun, the land across the sea, losing a bit of my Cholton accent that was there from birth. You are a strong example of a Cholton. And then he clasps your hand and shakes it. It is an honor to see one of the few that have survived the Executioner's Run. If you don't mind me asking, what was it that Talroa pegged you for?
It was a job that I picked up. The gods did not like it.
Talroa even more.
Exactly.
I do not know Ifan to be particularly spiteful. And even when you were submitted to the run, it was not out of hate, or anger, or revenge. So whatever job you did not seem to personally affect him. So maybe he won't be a thorn in your side while you're here in Jolt.
As he finishes saying that, I want to step forward and also extend my hand to greet. And I'm going to say, "Oh, forgive me. My name is Lutil. Did I hear that?"
You see, he takes he makes it very clear that he's not going to touch your hand, and so he puts his hand kind of out and around as if to kind of like avoid the contact, and then gives you a very polite nod and like a bow almost.
All right. Well, then I want to. Did I hear that
Do not forget that small exchange is anything other than Jolton commonality, a little touchy.
I want to ask my question. Did I hear that you spent time in Faerun?
Quite a lot. Baldur's Gate, Waterdeep, Neverwinter. I'm a merchant by trade, so it is what I do.
Very interesting.
I spent a decade in Alm, petitioning for our independence, which we received.
Actually, no, I'm not going to say. And they were peaceful petitions.
Well, I can't petition non-peacefully.
Some might disagree.
There are people saying things about me that I have not yet heard about.
No, you mistake me. I'm sorry. That is not my meaning there. I just mean that other people might believe that sometimes a non-peaceful petition is the best petition. And you might not call it a petition at that point anymore, but
Then it becomes an argument of semantics.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this.
and and the other thing too, I want to give him a look like he can, like obviously, like I'm trying to like gauge his character and be sly about it, but I'm not being sly about it.
So let me ask you this. Are you prepared to journey into the jungles of Jolt? Are you ready for the dangers that face you?
Well, I can't imagine it will be more dangerous than the seas I've faced for countless years, so nothing could be more dangerous than Mother Nature out there. If we end up going underground into some temple, I mean, what can hurt me down there?
Mother Nature in Faerun is seen more fondly. In Jolt, she is a cruel bitch. The lands are very dangerous.
Is this the only place with, or let me ask, are there dinosaurs in other places than Jolt?
No.
Jolt.
Dinosaurs are native to Jolt. We get the ones that we can and breed them for the purposes we need them for. Out in the wild, they will be less... They'll be less docile.
Alright, well, I'm aware that you guys have managed to, survive on this quite intense piece of land, but I can't imagine it would be much worse than what I've gone through before, so I'm as ready as I'll ever be, but yeah.
As ready as you'll ever be. That is a bold statement for someone who's never stepped foot into the jungles of Jolt before. May I be able to trust in the confidence that you have in yourself. I presume you potentially have a guide to lead you into the jungles?
Well, not yet, but we've got arrangements to look into.
Right, with Joe Ball. He's a close friend of mine. In fact, he's due to arrive in any minute, and actually almost about that time, there's a knock on the door, and an attendant opens and goes, Prince Otamu, Prince Jobal has arrived. And he goes, on time as always. Send him in, please. And the doors are opened, and the merchant Prince Jobal is allowed his entrance into the trophy room. And as he walks past everything, he's kind of like gauging everything in the room and kind of looking at it. There's a little bit of like a playful disgust with the things that he sees, and he goes, Otamu, you and your little toys. You are too old to be this much of a child. And he walks up and goes, to those of you that I have not met, and he looks at you, Certos, and he goes, excluding you, my friend, we have met before. I am one of the several merchant princes here in Jobal, at your service. I'm here to assist you with finding a guide that can help lead you into the jungles. Finding someone who is going to provide you with the level of direction, expertise, and service that you require to bring you in there. My contracted guides and expedition leaders are, let me just say, they are unique, to say the least. With that being said, it is up to you to pick the right one. To pick the one that is best for your needs, that can fit your budget, and maybe won't cause too much complications between decision making. With that being said, and he goes and brings out like a small ledger, plops it on a table, and then flips it so that it's like right side up, and slides it across the table to leave it open, which he gets over to the table that Otamu's at, and then kind of leans up against it when he does that and kind of slips it up. You may feel free to check from my list of guides that I have that might be perfect for a group of your size. You may feel free to pick the one that you need, and I will make the arrangements to have them meet you in the morning.
Oh, you said you'd bring them here in person. How am I supposed to know if you're lying to me or not?
He doesn't have it all.
These are as close to being as in here in person as I could get on short notice, since Wakanga sought me out shortly after you and I had our conversation. My hope was I could do it maybe in a day or two, but it seems we do not have that time. Otamu is, and he looks over with a little bit of a smile, he is quite persistent. So my friend, please do not take this with offense.
I reach out and I grab his booklet.
Yeah, you reach out and grab the ledger. Yeah, and there's several pages in it, so it depends on kind of like where you want to start reading through. There's several names, and there's names like, for example, you see a name that says Azaka Stormfang, Hugh Hackenstone, River Mist and Blossom Wine. Okay, Hugh Hackenstone. So for our good old buddies over on our far left camera, you guys have all the copy of the handouts. So Katray, if you wanted to show the images of these particular guides so that the players could also see them, I could read from the text. This would be a little bit of a joint effort. Yeah, so you guys, so that you two could get a good look. Hugh Hackenstone is that fun gentleman on the bottom right of that page there. And it reads, I've stood atop. By the way, you guys are going to want to pay very, very close attention as a group. Nick, since Katray is the one that's holding up the book, I would imagine that you want to maybe take notes for Katray so that you guys can help come up with ideas. Notes will be your friend. There's a lot of information on every single one of them. But with Hugh Hackenstone, it reads, I've stood atop every mountain and shoal. I know every gorge and crevice, every plateau and trail. My memory is an iron trap. I forget nothing. Trust a dwarf, I always say, because a dwarf will never steer you wrong. Fearless I am. There's no dragon, beast, or undead horror that scares me. You want a guide who runs away at the first sign of danger? No. You want a dwarf, and I'm the toughest dwarf around. Red Dragon bit me arm off, yet here I stand. Takes more than a dragon to stop Hugh Hackenstone. On the bottom, there's a note in terms of his rate. He charges 5 gold coins a day and expects a 30-day payment up front, which equals 150 gold. And he tags it with the best coin you'll ever spend, I promise you.
All right. I'll skim to the next one.
Okay, roll a number 1 through 10. If you roll a
Okay.
d10. On a roll
I got
on a
a
roll
7.
Okay, on a roll of 1, you'll end up re-rolling. So a 7. 7 is a duo named Kawasha and Kupalue.
Okay.
It reads, I, Kawasha, am a druid and a member of the Emerald Enclave. I seek to rid Chult, my homeland, of the undead menace that threatens to eradicate all life. My Vegapygmy companion is well versed in the local flora and fauna. Chult is our home, and we guide you as no others can. Our fee is 5 gold pieces per day, but that amount is negotiable if you are willing to help us destroy any undead we might encounter. Perhaps together we can receive the blessing of the Chwinga spirits that watch over this sacred land.
I like these two. Let's keep them in mind. All right.
I agree.
I'm gonna skim again. You want me to roll it? I'll roll another d10.
Sure.
I got a 1. Is that? Should I roll again?
So that's a re-roll. On a 1, 7, or 5, you re-roll.
I got a 2.
A 2. So a 2 is a Zaka Stormfang, the very first name that you opened up to. It reads, if you need a guide to get you through the jungle alive, look no further. I was born in the jungle, I know its dangers well, and how best to avoid them. Should you choose me, you may rest assured that your party is in safe hands. I charge 5 gold coins per day and require a 30-day payment up front. For those adventurers who aid me in a personal request, I will waive my fee and guide them to places no one else has found. This quest will take us to Firefinger. The evil terrafolk that roost atop Firefinger have stolen a wooden mask from me, and I want it back.
If they might help us with that lost city where the soulmonger is located.
She could be lying.
I mean, Mr. Jobal, is there any way for us to meet them in person after, or before we head out? After we, we're done
Absolutely.
here.
In the morning, I will be able to actually get you acquainted with, and if you could even narrow it down to maybe a couple, if you were like, or this person, that person, I could even grab the few of them, and then you can meet them in person.
What was the name of the client or the guide who was born in the jungle?
Azaka Stormfang. She is one of my. She is one of my several guides that is very, very successful.
Well, let me look at one more. Let me see what else is on here. I rolled a 9.
A 9. It brings you to a woman named Salida. And it reads, I've led many expeditions through the wilds of Chult. I know secret trails that appear on no map. Hire others at your own peril. Azaka and Iku have led expeditions into the jungle that never returned. For Rule and Gondolo are charlatans, plain and simple. Old Hugh suffers from mad monkey fever, I'm sure of it. Musharib is an albino dwarf, and they're not to be trusted. And I hear tell that River Mist and Flask of Wine owe money to the Zentarum. 5 gold pieces per day is a cheap price to pay for your lives. Spend your gold wisely.
Why is she shit talking?
I'm
Peace, bro.
interested in her. She has a strong opinion on everybody, and if she claims that Azaka had led a group that had never returned, I personally would not want to be with somebody who leads people to their demise.
She gets a super base. And she's
I don't trust someone who can state more wrongdoings than benefits. I don't like her.
Jobal, what do you think of this guy?
I gave you my best. Salida is a acquired taste of a personality. That I can assure you. Maybe you would like someone along the lines of Mighty Shago or Iku, if you want someone more peaceful.
No, I don't. I'm not worried about peace. I just
Well, there are five other names in that list. If you want to take a look, so that you all can come up to a more informed decision.
Have any of them ever mentioned Omu or
Omu?
the Lost City?
Not any have told me about a Omu.
Can I insight that?
You can.
I'll incite that as well, please.
Sure.
I did not do well.
Me neither.
A flaming fist, though.
I got a 6.
How does an 8 sound?
Nice.
A 6. You said a 6 and an 8.
Yep.
You guys are unfamiliar with his way of conversing. It's hard to tell if he's a little caught off guard or surprised by this specific line of questioning, or if he's trying to withhold information. You're not positive.
I like Stormfang.
Me too, but like I said, I mean, I don't. If she's led someone to the end, I do not want to meet that same fate. So that's my main concern. Is I don't want to be led to my death. Considering
thought they
other
named-
guide claims that.
I thought they named that the twins led, or the duo led people to their death.
It was both, I believe. It was Azaka and a druid. No, it was the it was the druid of her friend, right?
That is Kawasha and Kupalue.
Yeah, not Stormfang.
No, it did mention. Salita did mention Azaka leading people, and they'd never returned.
There's also a lot of other options though too.
I don't want to waste too much time on this, so I feel like let's just look at the other ones.
They look so important though, dude.
Well, remember too is we can pick specific people that we have in mind, so that when we see them tomorrow, we can talk to them too, and be like, "Hey, what's your take on this?" or "What's your take on that?" or whatever. So we can question them ourselves the next day. Like if we pick a couple select people, and people that we want to move forward with, then we can choose the final person tomorrow.
Yeah, I just don't want to drag it on too long, but
I don't think we will.
all right, Ethan. I'll look at.
Wait.
Oh,
One thing I want to say is I think we should pick 3 people and then talk to the 3 guides so
Yeah.
we get an idea of them.
That's what I said.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
I like
I know what 3 I want to talk to.
Stormfang. I like the duo, and I like the chick who. I want to talk to the chick who shit talk everyone.
Yeah, me
talk
too.
everyone.
Yeah.
What
I
about
want-
you?
There's still 5 other guides.
Yeah,
So maybe you change your opinion on a few.
Yeah, I want to talk to Stormfang. I want to talk to Hugh, the dwarf, and then I want to talk to Shago, the 10th one, which you should read next, Ethan.
Okay. So moving over to it's Shago instead of Shago. And it reads, "Ask any member of the Flaming Fist, I'm the best there is. Pay no heed to the guides in Port Nyanzaru. They're soft and weak. I'll get you to wherever you need to go. Firefinger, Kirsabal, the Peaks of Flame, it doesn't matter. Cholt is full of wonders, and Shago knows the way. I'm not afraid of dinosaurs, bugs, or hard work. I can paddle a canoe, I can start a fire, forage, whatever you need. The jungle is overrun with ghouls and zombies, but I have a strong arm and the heart of a Tyrannosaurus. Together, we will conquer this land. 5 gold pieces a day and a 30-day advance. For that, you get the best guide. For that, you get the mighty Shago."
I mean,
Can
he's a
you-
good seller.
He is. With the message that Salita had, does she mention Shago in there?
Solita does not mention Shago at all.
That's a good one.
Yeah, the ones that she doesn't mention are Shago and Kawasha.
Have
She
we read on
mentions
Kawasha
every-
yet?
You have read Kawasha yet. There are 4 left, so I'm just going to start going through them in order. So the next one's going to be Iku. While the lure of pillaging the antiquity of Chult is a temptation, I appeal to those who find fulfillment in doing actual good in the world. I seek to rid the jungle of evil. There are many ruins and ancient temples that must be reclaimed so that the spirits of nature can return to their sacred places and live in peace. There are evil impostors who seek to blind you with promises of gold, but only guide your throats to their blades. My rates are standard, 5 gold per day with a 30-day payment up front. A small portion goes to pay off the merchant Prince Jobal, the rest I give to charity. The next is Ferrul and Gondolo. Why pay for one guide when you can have 2 for the same price? We have the smarts, the goods, and our own Triceratops. Treasure abounds. When we're done leading you to all the ancient sites and sacred places that we know of, you'll be swimming in gold and magic. All the other guys will lead you in circles and make you do all the work. Don't be fooled. When we return to Port Nyanzaru, you'll have tales and fortunes enough to last a lifetime. Our price is 5 gold pieces per day, with a 30-day payment up front, but we're glad to reduce our rate for equal shares of any treasure found. The next is Mushari, the albino dwarf. The jungle is my home. I know it well. I can guide you anywhere in Chult for a fee of 5 gold pieces a day. If adventure is what you seek, join my quest to reclaim Crackhammer, my clan's ancestral forge. A volcanic eruption forced us to abandon it many years ago. The fire newts that have since taken over must be driven or destroyed. At the very least, we must sneak in and recover a relic known as Moradin's Gauntlet. The fire newts must not be allowed to keep it. If you love dwarven kind, then hear my plea and join me in returning Crackhammer to its rightful owners. I will waive my fee for your promise of assistance. And the last is River Mist and Flask of Wine. Beware Jobal and his no-good flunkies. That merchant prince is as trustworthy as a sack of snakes as are most of his guides. If you choose us, we will never lead you astray. River and Flask are up to the task. That's our motto. Schultz is our playground. We're fast, reliable, and know what we're doing. 5 gold pieces per day and a 30-day advance is what Jobal's flunkies demand. We're happy to serve as guides for only 4 gold pieces a day with no payment up front. Even better, we will waive the fee entirely for equal shares of whatever treasures we help find.
They don't sound that bad either.
No,
But
that's because
I don't
that's
like
because
them.
they need to undercut because they're worse at their job, dude. That's why they need to undercut everyone.
But they also seem fishy too. Not like they're the only ones that
That's
don't
what,
get
that's what
upfront like
Celinda
that.
did. That's why I don't want her.
Wait, who?
Celinda?
Salida?
Yeah, she just.
They
Yeah,
just seem-
Salida.
They just seem like they like
I'll be
it.
right
She's the one that shit talks, right?
Exactly. Yeah. But I like any of the people that like undercut other people. I don't like them.
That's true because they're trying to make themselves look better.
Fair though. I mean, there probably is a degree of honesty in theirs. Because they said beware of Jabal, and which is kind of fair, I feel like, given the fact that, like, you know, there was a comment earlier about the last group. And I know that Jabal wasn't there for that, but he's part of this whole operation.
Yeah. I mean,
So I don't think they're completely wrong.
Well, like Jabal. So, like, okay, obviously Jabal likes them too. If those are his best guides. So I feel like whatever they say, he
Yeah,
doesn't.
at the end of the day, he is just giving you the selection of his best guides. So this isn't just like what he could scrounge up. These are his most successful. So how you view them is fine, but there is a little bit of a sense of reliability that this is the best that he has to give you. With that being said, there are 9 guides from which you can choose from. It doesn't mean that you're locked into one guide forever for the remainder of your journey through Chult. It just means any time that you leave Chult and want to hire a guide, these are pretty much your selection of guides. These are their rates. So, for example, let's say for the sake of things that you start with Azaka Stormfang. She charges 5 gold per day with a 30-day upfront fee of 150 gold. She will waive that fee entirely if you help her with a quest to Firefinger, which means you won't have to pay her at all. But you have to go to Firefinger in order for that to happen. It's conditional. So you lose out on some of your initial investigations into Chult if you're trying to very, very explicitly only look for things that will point you towards potentially this Omu. Or for the guy who picked up our map quest, that we do have a map side quest, by the way. If you're able to locate the city of, what was it? Where's my map? Brr. My map. You need to find the cities of Orolunga and Nangalore, and you will get a ship from that map guide. So you have a side quest to find those as well. Orolunga and Nangalore are the two cities. They're supposed to be like ancient ruins, basically. So yeah, you go to Firefinger, and then when you return, you can hire a guide again. Now, if you hire Azaka because you really like Azaka, well, now you're potentially looking at paying maybe at least, maybe she'll, because of the quest, she won't charge the upfront, but maybe she'll still charge you the 5 gold per day after that on like a second trip or a third trip. Or maybe you say, you know what, I want to actually go with Hugh Hackenstone. Or maybe you say, you know what, I want to see what that relic is, that Moradin's Gauntlet. That might be a powerful relic that we can have that will ensure our survival. So you decide to go with Musharib, right? You can switch it up and change it. So I have most of their stuff written down here on my notepad so that we can always refer to it as need be. But here's what we'll do. Because you guys said and kind of agreed upon at least having 3 at the ready. We're going to go player by player, and I'm going to ask you to give me your top 5. That means a little bit more than half that were available. Those being in order: Azaka Stormfang, Iku, Ferul and Gondolo, Hugh Hackenstone, Musharib, Kawasha and Kupalue, River Mist and Flask of Wine, Salida, and the Mighty Shago. So Nick, we will start with you. Who are your top 5 in order of how you want them? Number one being the one you want the most. Number 5 being the one you want the least.
I'm gonna start with Mist and Flask.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna go with Salida.
Okay.
And then Hugh Hackenstone.
Okay.
And then Shago.
Okay.
And then Pharaoh and Gondolo. Or Ferul and Gondolo.
Yeah, Ferul and Gondolo.
Gondolo.
Okay. Katray. Same thing.
Okay, my number 1, I want Hugh Hackenstone.
Okay.
And then I want Musharib.
Okay.
Yeah.
My dude.
These are dwarves.
And then I'll say Salida.
Okay.
And then wait, you said 5?
Yeah, give me 2 more.
Okay, I'll do Shago.
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 You're good. A lot of names, so I'll try to correct them so you get them in your head.
And then last one will be Stormfang.
Okay. Gabe, you are up next. Same thing.
First one would be Stormfang.
Okay.
Second one would be Salida.
Okay.
Third one would be Kuwasha and her teammate.
Quasha's a dude.
Or sorry, Kuwasha and his teammate.
Yep.
Fourth one would be Shago.
Okay.
And then fifth one would be Hackensaw.
Okay. Hugh Hackenstone, got it. And Omar, same thing.
Number 1 is Salida.
Okay.
Number 2 is Shago. 3 is Stormfang. 4 is Kawasha. That's not the druid, is it?
That is the druid and the Vegapig.
That is? Okay. And then the 5th one would be what's the one that has like the drink as part of their name?
River Mist Flask of Wine, the Tabaxi duo.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tabaxis aren't to be trusted.
And Flask. Okay. So Hugh Hackenstone has made it on 1, 2, 3 of our lists. So I'm gonna just mark him real quick. Salida has made it on 1, 2,
4.
3, 4 lists. So Salida for sure is going to be selected as a candidate. Mist and Flask is only on 2, so we're gonna hold off on a second. Shago has made it onto all 4, so Shago is going to be number 2. Okay, and then Kuwasha's made it on 2, Musharib on 1,
I think it's Stormfront. Or
Azaka is also
Stormfront.
Azaka's made it on 3 alongside Hugh. So we're gonna grab those 4. So we're gonna get Selena, Shago, Hugh, and Azaka. Since you have a tiebreaker, I won't ask you to determine that tiebreaker. We'll just grab those 4. So with that being said, you go ahead and kind of make those selections as a group. Jabal is the one that kind of is doing the writing down of the names, kind of similar to what I just did. And so he goes ahead and kind of closes that up. He grabs his ledger back and then goes, "You will not be disappointed. I will go and gather the 4. We will meet you. What would be a good place to meet? Actually, how about this? How about just outside the executioner's run? I hear there is a show tomorrow. It would be a good opportunity to see a little bit of the fine culture of Jordan, as well as get your guides."
Is it far?
It's just outside the city. It's a small walk.
Alright, I'll meet you there.
In the morning.
In the morning.
I'm going to get them all, and I will let them know to meet you all there. I will not be there. You will meet the 4 of them. They will. You will get the opportunity to speak with them, ask any questions, see who decides to fit your boat. They will not take it personally if you decide not to hire them, so don't have to be like, "Oh, I'm going to float around their feelings." Please do your best to be respectful of my guides. I take it a little personally if my clients are rude to my employees. But with that being said, have a good night. My job here is done, and they will see you tomorrow. And he goes and walks out. And with that, you see Wakongo Tamu is just kind of like, "That is how it is gone." All right. Well, the 4 of you will have a busy day in the morning, so I will let you get too much rest. You, if you have need of any magical items, with the treasures that you will find in Jolt, feel free to head my way, and for a cost, I will sell you some things.
Sounds like you have a deal.
Alright. I trust you'll give better than fair deals.
I'll give the best that I can, considering you will make, it seems, frequent excursions into the jungles. I'm not going to be frivolously parting with my goods and not getting my investment back. But I will help you out the more successful you show yourself to be. Consider this the beginning of a long business partnership.
Well, I will keep you in mind.
Make a magic item.
Okay? With that being said, you guys... do you guys have any other questions or maybe anything else you want to ask? I know there's really nothing of major importance at the current moment, but I don't want to... Okay. So you guys gather your things and go to bed. The first day, we are on day 2 of this journey. I have to keep track of the day cycle. With that being said, Osa, can you please roll a d20 for me, please? And tell me what you roll.
Trey gets kidnapped in the middle of the night.
I got a 13.
A 13. We'll go with loot. Roll a d20 for me, please. And tell me what you roll.
Oh, 16.
Okay. We'll go with Stuart next. Go ahead and roll me a d20.
Stewart.
3.
And Sirthos.
Alrighty, let's see.
Roll a d20.
No adding anything?
Nope.
7.
Okay. You guys wake up in the morning after having a good night's sleep. You gather your things, you meet up together, and make your way to the location inside of Cholt that is known as the Executioner's Run. Now, the Executioner's Run, just so that you guys can have a little bit of understanding of what it is that you guys are actually going to, let me actually just pull up the little thing here. So with the Executioner's Run, it is a road through the old city of Chult. So it's this part of the city that's just outside the walls. And it splits around a rectangular stone-lined pit that is about 15 feet deep, about 50 feet wide, and about 200 feet long. Now, Osa, you actually know a little bit of some history. So, for the sake of things, this is the history that you are retelling to your companions as you guys are walking there. Port Nyanzaru, as a Chultan city, is actually a colonial settlement that was settled here by the nation of a long time ago. They, within the past century, have won their independence, not through military conquest, but through petitioning and through diplomatic means, have reclaimed their independence and are no longer considered an Omnian colonial outpost. However, the original Omnian residents built it as an arena for a highly competitive ball game, and it still provides cheap entertainment for the locals. They will drop things like velociraptors, panthers, or a variety of other hungry beasts such as juvenile allosauruses, which are basically like another form of T-Rex, and are set loose in the pit. Convicted criminals are dropped in on one end, and any criminal who is capable of making it alive through the gauntlet of carnivores to the far end of the pit can scramble up knotted ropes and win their freedom, along with the adulation of the crowd. Spectators line the walls for these spectacles, and from what you can see, as you guys get closer and closer and closer, people notice Osa. He gets kind of this like heroic vibe where people are like almost looking at a local celebrity. A lot of people have been mentioning that he's one of the few people, remarkably few people, that have ever survived the Executioner's Run. And on today, they're having one such run. About 10 criminals are lined up on one end of the Executioner's Run, and as you guys are waiting for your guides, you are capable of watching them fire pretty much like the flintlock pistol that signals for the game to begin. They let loose the beasts, the criminals begin to run, and it is a bloodbath. Not one makes it through, and you watch one by one by one by one as they all get torn to shreds by a variety of different creatures, to the crowd's absolute enjoyment and satisfaction. Osa, in the midst of watching this, does this experience have an impact on you? Would this be something that you would be comfortable watching? Is this something that you would join in on the celebration because of the entertainment that it provides? How would Osa kind of approach this experience?
Osa tries to keep like a stone cold like face kind of through the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
But it still bothers him.
Okay.
Like very deeply rooted.
Okay, and you guys can see that there's a visible discomfort that Osa has with the entirety of the experience that kind of sits in until you guys are tapped on the shoulder. We'll say, for the sake of it, it is Steward and Lute who are kind of patted on the back. And as you turn around, you see a Chultan gladiator, a warrior of what seems to be local renown, who is very, very vibrant and well-pleased, and with a shortcut, kind of like hair mohawk, like a curly hair mohawk, and just a very, very simplistic look to him. This man walks up and goes, "They told me to look for the big blue guy, and that I did. The mighty Shago, at your
I'm gonna interrupt.
pleasure at your
Oh, Shago, it's good to meet you, Shago. My name
pleasure
is
to
Luke.
meet you."
So
And
we
he shakes
hear.
the hand. He's got a beefy grip, and he grabs that hand and shakes it well.
Gosh, yeah, my arm just like flails
Yeah.
around.
And then he kind of perks himself up. His bicep, his forearms are exposed from his like gladiator style armor, which you can see there's like a doled out like old flaming fist emblem that he has on because he had made notice that he was a part of the Flaming Fists. And he just kind of looks and goes, I was told to meet you all. I'm sure they said a few others were going to be coming here, so I'm glad I was the first one.
As are we. We are, as you know, we're looking for a guide, and in the sake of not wasting anybody's time, I think we'd like to cut straight to the point. We have just a few questions for you. My biggest question, and forgive me for being so serious so abruptly, but what is the most serious encounter you would say you had out in the jungles?
It has to be with the undead, I won't lie to you. They're everywhere, and they have to be killed. There's a fort on the northern tip of the peninsula, Fort Belawarian. The Flaming Fist have sent an excursion here from Baldur's Gate itself, and led by the legendary Liara Portier, to say the least. I've always wanted to impress her, to show her that I'm capable of continuing to serve in many great ways, and hopefully claim some level of prestige in the Flaming Fists. That being said, the undead would definitely be the scariest thing out there. I won't lie. But, not only am I a guide under servant of the merchant prince Jobal, I also happen to be the only son of Janthi, one of the many merchant princes.
Can I? Okay, I'll say this. I want to. What weapon does he have? Does he have it with him?
Yeah, he's got this like gladius style sword, so like a long sword. But it looks more. It does not look to be a Cholton design. It looks to be a Baldurian design.
I mean, he's got like 9 out of 10 points right now.
I want to see how you handle that sword of yours.
Here's probably not the best place.
I don't mean swing it. Just
the laws of Port Nyanzaru are a little strict.
Are you allowed to hold it out, or is that a crime as well?
Yeah, I could draw my sword. I'm not gonna play around with it too much. You gotta be safe. He draws his sword pretty much in a pretty well manner. Holds it in one hand, this nice long sword, and kind of bounces it between his two hands to show he's got a little bit of some flexibility. He does just like a simple twirl. It's not a big blade. It's not a long blade. It has a little bit of some girth at the end of the blade, so it's pretty good for like hacking and slashing versus like your traditional like knight style dueling. Probably good in some close quarter combat, you imagine, and with his size, he could probably cut pretty good with this thing.
He looked pretty like comfortable with wielding it and whatnot.
Yeah, it didn't seem to be problematic at all. And then he cheats it. Pretty simple.
I like shake.
Now, as you're saying that, you hear kind of from the back, "Oi! Now, if you're trying to see someone who can absolutely wield a weapon," and this old, kind of battered dwarf starts to walk his way over with a battle axe in his hand. And the reason why I say a battle axe, you imagine with the girth and the straight up constitutive will that this dwarf is impressing upon you, that he would take a great axe. Motherfucker doesn't have a left hand, so his left arm is gone at the elbow. So he walks up with this battle axe, this old dwarf, bald, long beard, and he's just gnarled and all scratched up, and he goes, "I can show you at least one person that can put a fucking weapon to use. The name is," and he reaches with his stump to like put it out, "Hugh Hawkinstone." And he spits on the ground. "At your service."
Well, you look like a rough fellow, don't you? And I'll put my hand out to shake it.
He looks at you and goes, "I'm a little stubby." And then he kind of does a little bit of a chuckle, and he puts his axe back where it was supposed to go. With that being said, kind of behind them, you see two girls who are kind of walking up, or two ladies. Both of them seem to want to be nowhere near each other, and yet they're walking side by side. The first walks up. This would be Azaka Stormfang. She's got this just a feral look to her. And she walks up with her arms folded and just goes, "Azaka, here." And then just kind of leaves it at that. And then the other one that is present is Salida. And Salida is a little bit more of this kind of like lithe, very seem to be a little bit more of like a dexterous kind of body posture. And Salida, it is a pleasure to see you and to meet you all. And you can see even at that, at just like that little formality, you see just Azaka just. You see Shango goes, well, looks like we got quite a good group of selective guides here. And you can see Azaka goes, Shango, you don't have to impress anyone here. We know you have trouble speaking, so you might as well allow the adults to do the talking so that you can continue to be a child and play soldier. Hugh starts laughing. He goes, ha ha, she called you a wee little boy. Ha 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 ha.
I like these guys.
Who said that? Izaka?
Yes, Azaka Stormfang.
Of course, that's
Izaka, I'm excited to meet you, but I'm curious, what is this tension going on between you and Selite? Is that her name?
It's Salida.
Selita.
I do not like any of these people. I don't get in your business, so I won't ask for you why you do or don't like other people, but that's all I'm willing to share. I just don't like them. And you can see Shago goes, yeah, she's as bitter as a grub on the bottom of a barrel on a hot day. And Hugh looks over and goes, boy, not one person here has a fucking clue what you're saying.
Luthil's gonna kind of like look over all of the guides that are before us. He's gonna. So you guys never travel together, or do you guys travel together?
Salida is the one that answers. If you wanted a guide that traveled with another person, you would have wanted to have hired Farul and Gondola or Mist and Wine. Seeing as neither of them have arrived, and neither has Kuwasha or Kupalue, sees you have kind of not picked any of the partnered guides. We do not work together. We are just in the same line of business. We are competitors.
The only thing that I'm interested in that you all have to offer me is two things. Is one, maintaining my life, and two, bringing me places that you believe to have not been found by others yet. So,
Salida takes the opportunity to kind of lean in a little and goes, and what kind of locations are you trying to find?
Well, I'm not sure in specific, but...
Can I jump in?
Yeah,
Okay.
go for it.
Okay. We are looking for the lost city of Omu.
The lost city of Omu? Those are just tales and legends here in Shotan. You believe it to be real?
Yes.
And
I
what
want to
brings you to Omu?
It is our biggest lead.
Your biggest lead. Well, I would be willing to help you with finding this Omu. Better than some could say. As, Shago over here wants to play soldier and impress his mommy that doesn't actually birth him. And Hugh Arkenstone, with only one arm, do not think him to be capable of doing much of anything other than swinging that axe with reckless abandon.
Had a reaction when Omu came up, though?
No, you didn't see like any noticeable reaction. You don't know, and you're also not making like immediately like intentional kind of watches. So go ahead and make a insight roll for me real quick. And
Can I do that as well? Or?
I would say you could with disadvantage because you're talking with one specific, whereas Luthiel is not. So Luthiel has a little bit more room to gauge. Because he's looking at it more generally, it's going to be a little bit more difficult to isolate specific people.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to get anything, man. I got a 1.
Yeah, no, it's, you don't know any of these people, so it's hard to tell, like, when they're, if they're lying or if they're not. You're not certain.
Yeah, it's okay. Alright. Well, shoot. Well, then I guess I'll just ask. So no one else has heard of the name city of Omo before? Only Salida?
Azaka kind of looks over and goes, I know of a mystical guide in the jungle of Jolt that might be able to help you find this place that you wish to go. But they would be a potential second stop, as I would need some help with something before I'd be willing to share that information.
And how many days do you think the first stop would take us?
Why'd you have to ask me that goddamn question?
Yeah, you can hit me with fluff for now, dude. That's fine.
If we travel south, on the river Tariki, a few days. Much longer to get to the guide. Much longer.
Few days. So time was of the essence. Yeah. Yeah, dude, I'm like traumatized about time. I'm like, dude, you're throwing side quests at us, and I'm like, that sounds fun, but if we do the side quest, it takes 12 days. It's like, well.
Yeah. So she didn't mention the river Tariki, so that means you could travel by canoe, which would significantly impact your travel capacity going
She's
to
really popping herself up right now.
Firefinger.
I'm kind of stressed. I'm gonna turn to Shago. Shago, please. Like, there's got to be something more you can offer than being a soldier. Is there anything other that you know about these lands? I wanted to pick you originally, Shago.
Well, I can tell you one thing above any of the rest. The Flaming Fist, they like to check to see if whether or not people have a writ of exploration or expedition. It's kind of like a legal charter that is demanded by them if they catch you out in the midst of the jungle to prevent ne'er-do-wells from going out there and doing things they shouldn't be doing. I am capable of getting you past that. A, might try to not make it matter, which could cause some problems if you get, if you run into a Flaming Fist scouting patrol. I don't know. They're a little shifty. And you see Hugh goes, Shago, that is a big word, shifty. I'm impressed. And you see he smacks his stump like he's clapping. And Salida goes, yes, I was quite impressed with your ability to mark out a shifty. Insightful. What a wise man you are.
So then
you see Shago perks himself and he goes, I have my moments.
Can I insight all of that? Is it actually going to be a problem to not have legal charter in the jungle, or is that?
Make an insight. You really have no idea because you haven't been here. This is all new.
I'll just ask the other
new territory.
I'm going to turn to Salida actually because she's probably the most knowledgeable and say, Salida, is that actually going to cause a problem out in the jungle?
He tells you the truth, but he also is quite honest that there are some of us who don't care.
Okay.
Now, I have a charter of expedition. I don't care if you have a charter of expedition, but the four of you would need one, yes.
So we can get our own charter of expedition.
Yes, but it would require a journey to Fort Beluarian, which is not here in Port Nyanzaru.
My gosh, this just gets more complicated by the minute.
But like I said, some of us here don't mind if you don't have it. Shago might not, but that's his choice.
Okay. I'm out of questions unless you guys have anything else you want to ask all of them.
I already know.
I'm good.
Is everyone kind of ready?
Wow.
Okay. So on that note, then, because we can dismiss them and have a moment to talk, and then we'll make a decision. Do we have to tell Jabal our decision, or who? How do we?
You're hiring them, not Jabal. So you can just tell the one hey, we're gonna go with this person, and okay.
Okay. Well, I think we need a moment to talk.
Yeah. So if you guys kind of take a step to back up, so you guys can talk.
Okay. Yeah. Cool.
I would do it as characters, to be honest.
So once we get this way they can't hear us anymore, I want to start the conversation. I want to say stuff. I want to pick Shago. I think Shago will be our best bet.
He's inexperienced. You want to explore the jungle with a little boy.
He's
Yeah,
young.
far to get.
He is young, but he is an adult.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm just being rude.
But-
I just want to make sure I clarified if there's any I gave off the wrong impression.
Okay. Yeah, no, I like Salita. She's experienced. She might have come off harsh, but I think she knows what she's talking about.
She also
There's
won't leave us behind if circumstances look grim, though.
It's fine.
There's obviously a reason she's lived as long as she has, but I think that she's become jaded to her time out here.
Maybe not. Are we not all a little jaded here?
I think that there's
I can't say that I'm not.
You should remember that Shago is also the son of another merchant prince. And we
Yes.
will have a legal charter as long as we're with him.
I don't. Shago was my least favorite pick there.
Because
I don't
my
know.
second was Azaka. I think that Azaka could potentially get us to Omu the quickest, knowing that mystical guide. But I'm hesitant as to how many days it's going to take to complete her little detour before we can finally go where we want to go.
That's
I
why
mean-
we should choose somebody that can actually take us somewhere, not
Yeah.
us do something for them.
If we go with Izaka, then the person paying us will be dead by the time we're able to find what we're looking for.
That's true.
It's no good. We can't follow her.
No, this is not true.
Yeah, it would be a gamble,
Azaka is our only lead to getting to the lost city of Omu.
which is arguably our most important objective.
Exactly. So
But-
Azaka is our only pick.
But no, hear me out. Hear me out. The only other argument for Shago is because he's part of the Flaming Fists, and they obviously have a network. They have a cell operating here on the island. I'm sure that we could find his comrades or a base of theirs and maybe get our hands on some documents or hear some stories or talk to people. I'm sure that there's a lot more information that they have access to.
The Flaming Fish doesn't roam the jungle of Chult.
That they do.
No, only him. He is the guide of the jungle.
Is that correct? I thought he said that there's Flaming Fist patrols out in the jungle.
Scouting patrols, not like military
Well,
patrols.
So yeah, okay. So there's scouting patrols. Man,
They don't.
they have
scout
to
the
know
city of
enough.
Omu.
The scouts have to be. The scouts would go and get the information and then report it. And there's obviously some type of base where they're reporting to.
All I'm saying is we have the lost city of Omu is our main objective, and Izaka has the best plan to get there.
Yeah. I
So
mean,
whether we have to do it or not, it's still the fastest way to get to Omu.
I'm willing to hire Azaka. I just like Shaco too.
You like Shago because of his personality.
I think that he's the least likely to screw us over.
And he's also the least intelligent one there.
Well, I
I
don't know.
don't care for Shaco.
That Hugh guy lost a hand. You tell me.
Yeah, I don't really
Arm.
care about that
He lost.
dwarf.
He lost half his arm.
He lost half his armor.
Yeah.
I wouldn't bother with a dwarf that can't use both of his hands.
Shago is actually the best at forging. So if Azaka is someone you're not going to pick, which is a stupid thing, Shago would be my next, because food is going to be a problem.
And what about Salita?
Salida would be my next pick. She is my third.
She does not. Other than just knowing the jungle.
Exactly. Salida and Hugh are fucking useless. We need Azaka.
It's useless.
I'm okay with Izaka. If I must settle, then I can settle on her and be confident. So if we must, then I will.
Yeah, but the thing is that she's led people into the jungle and they haven't returned. That's my I want to choose her too. Don't get me wrong, but I don't know. I just get an off vibe from her.
I mean, the jungle is not dangerous. That's what we've been told. I'm not surprised. What we've
And it-
signed up for is deadly.
It could be a complete waste of our time, us clinging on to this mystical guide that she's mentioned. But
What if it's a trap that leaves
Well-
us to die, and then they just she keeps our coin, and then comes back. Oh yeah, they died trying to get to another mystical guide, and then she finds other clients, and then they also die, and
Then we'll be dead and it won't matter anymore.
Yeah, but I mean that very well could be the case. But I do believe that Jobal would recommend her to us if she had a track record of
that's
doing
true.
things like that.
It is also based on the client. It was probably a stupid client.
Yeah.
You're probably right.
That
If
was
I'm gonna
quite
choose
common.
anyone, either it'd be Shago for the extra, hands for combat if we ever have to,
His dad, ancient prince too.
or
Yeah,
Azaka.
out of the because of the 4 that you picked, I'll just be honest. They all look like they can handle themselves very well.
It's more about what
in
they're
different ways. They all look combat capable. You didn't pick any of the ones that don't look combat capable.
Okay.
These ones look combat capable.
Let's just go with these.
As a simple, just kind of like maybe just like kind of comparison line. Neither Shago, Salida, or Hugh made notice of any specific place or location or person they can guide you to that would help you get to this alleged lost city of Omu. Whereas Azaka has said that if you were to help her, she will bring you to a guide that she knows that may be able to help you. To Osa's point, that is a bit of a better go-ahead than the rest, but also to Lute's point, that means you are going to spend time doing the contractual part of that component. Whereas maybe you can bypass that with some of the other guides. It is your choice.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of where my that's where my head is at. Either we cling on to whatever hope Azaka can provide us, and we pray that we find that, or we take our chances and try to leverage any of the connections and influences that Shago can bring to the party, and try to gain as much information as we can to point us in the right direction. And so it's essentially which way do we think that we're going to be more effective?
Did we take 2?
No, only one.
Well, if we pay both of them.
I mean, yeah, but
Wait, Ethan, we
But there
could
might
take
be-
2
there might
potentially,
be-
right?
No, you can't. I mean, if you have the money to hire 2, you can hire 2, but it's looking like a lot of money.
No, dude. Let's just get 1, dude.
Yeah, I mean, but I was thinking because if we took Azaka and we took it's Shago, right?
Shago.
Yeah.
But I think Shago's 150 up front too.
But the thing is, because we can afford the upfront fee, but then we wouldn't be paying Azaka because
That's
if
true.
he won't charge us. So we would just
We
be
don't
paying.
need Shaco.
The thing is, we would get the charter, and he's also really good at foraging and like just survival like tactics. He was the only one that had stuff like that written down.
Dude, we'll be fine, dude. What's
Well,
the
he-
fun of
he can help
the
with the
jungle
doctor.
without a little fucking survival practice, dude? We don't need a fucking a survival coach, dude.
I don't want the mouthworms or
I
whatever.
mean, it was just an idea. We won't get mouthworms because of
Terrifying.
yeah.
No, dude, I just want to take fucking Azaka, dude. I think that's our best bet.
Yeah.
Okay.
If
As long as she's not blowing complete smoke, it's probably smart to go with her.
That rage isn't smoke, dude. That rage is there for a reason. So at least half of what she's saying is true. That's why she's all grumpy, probably, dude, because someone stole her mask. She wants to get it back.
So are we picking Azaka?
I don't feel the same anymore.
wait, can I get a list from everyone on how you would rank them, just in case we come back to it? We know what second one to pick.
I think it's
I
probably
picked.
I feel like it should be Azaka, and then our second pick would be Shago.
My first pick would be Salida. Second would be Izaka, and I guess my third would be Shaco because the fourth doesn't have an arm.
Yeah, the dwarfs is last on my list too.
I don't know
Oh, who
how.
knows, dude? Maybe he's cracked, dude.
Because he knows Cholt really well. Like he probably knows it better than anyone else. No, he knows it better than anyone else.
For sure.
Yeah.
They should have had stat bars.
I mean, it's all up to like it's hard to exactly tell, but it looked like he knew the most. But Salita has like she knows secret paths and stuff.
I think there is something interesting though, because Azaka does also seem to know a little bit more. Because she said, after the few days to do her thing, the thing we want to do is going to take many days. I don't know.
Let's just go Izaka, dude.
Yeah.
I'm down.
Me too.
All right,
That
we've
being
settled.
said, I have. You
Who
guys
wants to
noticed
deliver the
on the
news?
stream, I have posted an image of Azaka Stormfang.
I'll go to
So
Izaka.
that there is now a character portrait.
Wait,
of
Ethan.
Azaka
Wait, I
Stormfang.
can't hear you.
Hello?
You're muted.
Damn, that was
Oh.
fucked. Thanks.
I
If you guys notice on the stream, I posted an image, a character portrait of Azaka Stormfang. I will do so with any of your guides. So when you pick a guide, I will put it on the stream, so that alongside your guys' character portraits, which are just below me, right? Yeah, there will also be on the stream a guide portrait, so that you'll know who you have. So Azaka's the one that you're gonna pick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys go ahead and go back to the 4 guides, letting them know that you have gone and selected Azaka Stormfang. Azaka is obviously very pleased with this, and the other 3 leave. They depart. No, there's no there's no kind of like combativeness. Salita does make a comment and just like, well,
I'm sure
she goes, "It was a pleasure knowing you," and then kind of departs. And as you guys, as they walk off, Azaka kind of looks there and goes, "Let her speak her poison, that snake.
Oh,
You've selected well. I am Azaka Stormfang. I will help you on the condition that you help me acquire a family heirloom that is located in a location known as Firefinger. It's been overrun by the Terrafolk here in Chult. Won't be too difficult, but we will need to get a couple of canoes, and then obviously any other materials that you find necessary. I can handle food."
Oh, perfect. That's literally what we were missing, y'all.
will we
Let's
be
go.
retrieving this heirloom from the possession of somebody, or
Yes, the Terrafolk. If we can acquire it from the Terrafolk, then I will be pleased. You help me reclaim my heirloom, I will take you to a guide that I know. Her name is Saja Mbaza. She may be able to help you find the very thing that you're looking for. Granted,
So how
you won't know
long-
until you get there.
How long has this been taking you to retrieve your heirloom? Like, how long has it been lost?
It's not more like mishandled. Not too many people want to go deal with the Terrafolk, so haven't really
What?
made any efforts lately.
are the
So
terror?
is that what?
No, I don't know.
The Terrafolk?
So, what? Yeah, what are they?
Yeah,
I don't want to have. I won't have Osa do it. She looks at you and just goes, "They are a type of dinosaur people,
Oh,
winged ones that screech."
oh, great. So is that why previous party members, previous parties that have hired you, met their demise from these night folk too, or
She looks at you and goes, "Who told you that?"
we read into who we wanted to choose?
no. I want to out him. I say, Jobo.
Specifically, Salita. She had a lot to say about a lot of people.
That snake, that absolute snake, I swear, next time I see her. Anyways. Yes, the last group of adventurers that I'd brought out into the jungles of Chult wanted to help me as well. They made their way to Firefinger, and they were incredibly inexperienced. I wanted to tell them how I thought we should have gone about it. They told me that I didn't know what I was doing and wanted to do things their way. And so the 5 men braved the Pillar of Firefinger to be slain. Every one of them. And I said, fuck it. And I walked back home.
All right.
So, if you're...
Was that the only group that you've led Was that the only group you've ever led
The
out?
only group that I've led that's been completely lost. I won't lie, Chult is dangerous. I can't promise any of you that you'll live. Ever. So don't think that I'm an assurance for your life. That is your job. My job is to bring you places and do it collectively safe. So, if one of you dies on the way, then one of you dies on the way.
Fair enough.
And if you die, then we get our money back. Great.
I'm not charging you. You're helping
Oh
me.
yeah, I
You're
forgot.
helping me with my heirloom.
I apologize. I forgot. I was just ready to save some gold.
I found the stingy one of the group.
Yeah.
Seeing as we have the
Oh.
the 5 of us here, we are going to need 2 canoes.
Wait. Ethan, can I get a timestamp?
134. Yes, we will want to get 2 canoes. And by we, I mean you.
Yes, very well. Actually, I'm not. I don't know. I can't really help with the canoe guys.
Yeah, you can.
I mean, all right.
Actually, no, Osa, you can help with the canoes, right? Since you sold people for coin, right? So you can pay for them.
I can pay for the canoes. I'm not the strongest.
Never said you had to be.
Agree, dude. Agree. Do we want to go buy the canoes, or can we just buy them?
Let's just go buy the canoes, dude. Fuck it.
They're 50 gold apiece, so you need to get 2.
How much gold do we have total between everybody? Right? We only have,
300.
I think
And then
I'm
we have our personal gold.
20 gold, man.
What? Did you do the math for your goal?
I thought so.
It's for your
And
raise.
we were given a fucking gold from.
Actually, I take it back. The canoe actually has carrying capacity stats. It carries 6 passengers. Y'all only need 1 canoe.
All right.
Nice.
50
Let's just
gold
take
for
50
1
gold
canoe.
from the 300.
Okay, I'll pay for it.
We'll pay for it, dude.
No, because I have the 300 gold.
No, this is a party now.
Yeah, but I'm like the treasure.
All right, man. Okay, man. What
Because
is
that big chunk of gold I got was for this.
Yep. So you have to make your way. You would basically make your way to one of the merchant princes. Her name is Akini Afa. She's the one that sells all of the canoes, and so you could buy a canoe for 50 gold, and have that canoe to sail. Well, technically, to row south on the river Tariki, which is where you would need to go to head towards Firefinger. Yeah, Tariki.
Alrighty.
Let's go.
Now, Azaka looks at basically when you guys buy the canoe. The journey to Firefinger will take a few days by canoe. Fortunately, the path to Saja Mbaza, and since you have officially hired me, is located in the ruins of a city known as Oralunga. It's one that very few people know. I've made my way there quite often. That being said, it's also reachable by canoe. It just will take several more days because if we don't want to get into the actual jungle as often as possible, then we will take the river. That would be a different river than the river Tariki. Tariki will take us to Firefinger, but if we want to make our way to Oralunga, we would go the river Shoshenstar down to the Aldani Basin, and then basically swoop around on the river Toth in order to get to Oralunga.
So we'll have to move the canoe to another river, is what you're saying? Just carry it.
When we sail it back, when we row it back up from Firefinger, then yes, we would just have to hop on another river. Both rivers connect to Port Nyanzaru, so they are very easy for us to get to.
Sweet. Well, that sounds good.
I have a couple of rules in terms of my expedition work. So, I'm your guide. You're going to listen to these rules. You're going to do exactly as I say when it comes to these expectations.
Yes.
It is your responsibility to set up camp any night we have to. I will do my best to keep watch at least a portion of the night. When I do, I will also attempt to hunt for food. But you are not to be with me when I do that. I do that alone, and I will accept no alternative. You break that rule, and it is immediate termination of our contract.
Why must you hunt
do you want-
alone?
I
Exactly.
hunt alone, and I want no one with me.
Why is that?
Particularity of mine. I ask that it's respected.
Is that it?
Outside of that, you are free to do as you wish. I will take suggestions in terms of pathways. If there's a couple options, I'm free to get your insights. But
Well,
that one
I'll let you-
rule is a hard
I'll let you
no.
lead for the land travel. I'm more comfortable at sea.
I agree. Well, not for me at sea, but you know, you're the guide here. You're here to help us.
I won't ask for any of your treasures. I won't ask for any of the gold that you acquire. The heirloom is more than enough for me. It'll give me everything that I need.
Alright, let's go get some canoes and hunt some dinosaurs. I've never tried meat, but,
We're not hunting dinosaurs.
Thank God.
well, dinosaur people, dinosaurs, it's all kind of the same thing.
Right. Yeah, Terrafolk, you are going to make yourself a big blue target for them. So,
Well,
yeah, I will meet you on the river entrance to the River Tariki. You might as well go ahead and say your goodbyes to the big blue man if he's going to continue to be loud and obnoxious, because the Terrafolk will love you if you're going to continue to do so. And she pats you. You get it's like a little bit of a jest. Like I'm not going to make you roll insight. It seems like she's trying to poke at you in like a playful way to just kind of, because you guys are going to be journeying together. But she's so dry with it that it's like, it feels weird.
the Terrafolk will have to be terrified of me once I step in. I'm not worried. Not
They
at
might
all.
smell you first before they see you.
And if they do, they'll go running.
That's for sure. Well, I'll see you at the River Tariki, and we will leave when you're ready.
Alright.
With that, you guys
I'm
go
not
and gather
carrying the canoe down.
Is there... Dude, you are the strength person. What are you talking about?
You'll have to pay me.
This guy. It's gonna either take 2 people or Surthos to carry that canoe.
I'll carry the canoe.
Okay, Surthos grabs that canoe, picks it up above his head, holds it, and walks with it as you guys buy it, brings it down to the River Tariki, where you see Azaka Stormfang, who is currently out there. Now,
I'd like to be complaining the entire time I carry the canoe down.
oh yeah, absolutely. Now, as you guys see, Azaka is like now out, getting ready to officially lead you to a location. She has a longbow strapped across her shoulder with a quiver of arrows. She's got plenty of arrows, and then has a pretty large curved scimitar, so a large curved blade that extends pretty broadly at the end, but has a thin part of the blade by the hilt. She has that strapped to her side. So she's got that kind of on hand, and then yeah. So she's got those, and she kind of is kind of crouched over the water, and she's got her fingers in the water, and she reaches up and kind of smells it. She's smelling the water, and after she sees you guys come up, she kind of flicks the water off, and goes, "Fortunately enough, the undead haven't made their way into the water, so I'm not gonna have to worry about any surprise alligator attacks."
That's good to know.
Yeah, I can show you anything that could potentially be undead. I assure you is undead in that jungle. So when we get on land, it's a little bit dangerous. Fortunately, Firefinger is in one of the lesser swarmed areas. The further into the heart of the jungle you go, yeah, the thicker the density of undead. Everywhere.
So then that leads me to a question for you then. If we were to get rid of the night folk and, retrieve your heirloom, would that mean that the undead will slowly come over to the place that we are going to be heading after we defeat those night folk, or do you think that wouldn't be a problem?
The undead don't migrate like that. They're not coordinated.
Okay.
There's enough for it to be a damn army, but thank the gods that there's no coordination as if they were. So, it's the best I got.
All right.
So we are ready to set off then?
Ready as I'll ever be. Just don't die on me.
I don't do water well at all, but I will ride in this canoe.
Okay.
Can you bring it closer to me though to get in?
You guys get on the canoe one by one, with Azaka at the front of the canoe, kind of watching and looking out, and
I'll be in the back.
Yep, and with
you'll be the
Sirthos-
rower.
Yep, with the row. So you have the rower. So Sirthos is rowing, and you guys are rowing south along the river Tariki.
Ethan,
Yes.
as my lucky trinket for my sailor background, I made it an old flag that I used to carry, that I used to wave on my, that was my ship flag.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to tie this to the back of the canoe, please.
Okay. Yeah. As you guys are initially talking with Azaka about the undead, you noticed that Sirthos was not paying attention to that conversation and was affixing something to the back of the canoe, and it turns out it's a flag.
Hell yeah.
And on the flag, it's a mug that looks to be filled with some sort of ale, because you see the foam dripping off, and it's being bashed into a skull. And that's the flag.
All right. All right. Well, with that being said, you journey south on the river Tariki. Because you are journeying along a river that does not have any bends or turns, I do not have to force you guys to make the traditional survival checks to see if you guys get lost in the jungle, because you guys aren't traveling in the jungle. So you guys have kind of cut around that pretty well, which is good. So 2 full days of what would be canoe travel happens. So we are technically now on day 4. With that being said, I need every person to roll a d20 twice.
Twice?
And we're going to go one by one. So Nick, if you can roll a d20 twice and tell me your totals.
Bro. Oh, okay, so nat ones don't matter in that way?
You just got to tell me what you roll. So we'll start with Nick, and then we'll get through the rest.
It's 11 and 4.
11 and 4. Katray.
15 and 8.
15 and 8. Gabe.
That's
9 and
crazy.
1.
9 and a 1. Stuart.
15 and 4.
15 and 4. Sirthos on the second day, or technically the second night, because you traveled on day 2, so you slept on day 2. You traveled on day 3, you slept on day 3. So the second day or night, as you are sleeping, your dreams are plagued by the visions of what seem to be a warrior. Now, you can't tell anything about the description of this warrior because it almost feels like you're in the warrior's body, like you're in there. You're hacking through thick jungle vines, trying to make your way into something. You're not certain it's Sirthos, but as you continue to breach it open, you see this almost prismatic hole in a wall, like a solid stone wall, immediately be made visible, and this large iron bolt is shoved into your chest. And you get the impression that not you as Surthos, but whoever it is that you're like having this dream through, definitely died from this experience. Like, this is a very fatal wound, and you get this further and further, almost like out of body experience from this out of body experience, as if now you're out of the body that you're currently like living vicariously through. And it's almost as if you are the soul of the person watching them as they're dying. And then things just get dark. They get hungry. And then it's extinguished. All light is gone. All sound ceases. And you no longer feel, but you get the sense that what is feeling an immeasurable amount of agony that would be comparable to being eaten alive.
Oh, wow.
And you are woken up from your dream in the morning, and that was night 3. So we are on day 4. You guys wake up from camp every morning. So Azaka takes the very final shift of the night on every night that you travel with her, so that she can hunt for food and have food ready by morning time. So she has officially done so, and she has acquired a small array of different type of small jungle monkeys that are capable of being eaten, as you know, amongst individual people. So she has those currently being cooked over an open fire, so you guys can have a bit of a breakfast, and then you guys go ahead and eat and fill your bellies, and whatever. With your flasks of water, because Stuart, you have purify water, right, or purify food and drink.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that costs a spell slot.
It does.
Okay. Let's do this. How much water does a D&D 5e water skin hold? This is a good question. 4 pints of liquid. 4 pints of liquid. How much would that last? 4 quarts. 4 pints is a quart. 4 quarts is a gallon. So half a gallon of water. You guys have to drink a gallon of water a day. So in order to ensure that you are capable of drinking a gallon of water a day, you guys would have to be collecting water. Because you're traveling along the river, it would have to be from the river, which means that in order to make sure that that water is purified, pretty much, Stuart, each day until you find an alternate method of purifying your water, you would have to be spending that first level spell slot. Since it's the start of a new day, you're down 1 first level spell slot so that you can account for making sure that you guys don't have to make con saves to be exhausted from not having enough water throughout the day. So that is a part of the travel. It is a part of the journey. But with that being said, it is the start of a new day. You guys are in the jungle of Chult. Your camp is always, you pretty much like find a spot that's easier to put the canoe off so that you can disembark and kind of get into the lands of Chult just briefly so that you can set up camp. So you guys have done so. You guys have woken up from your camp, and from here, as you guys are kind of getting your items, getting things together, Zaka at that point is like strapping up her weapons and looks to you and goes, "Today we go into the jungle. Firefinger is just a little way east of here. Go, grab this heirloom, we'll make it back to Port Nyanzaru, and you're free to sell your treasures before, we go to Orlanga. I will lead you to where Firefinger is, and then it is kind of your ballpark from there. I will help you, but I am not in charge. You live and you die by your decisions, but don't be stupid." Now she walks you through to the area that's kind of close to where this Firefinger is at. And after walking for a little while, maybe a couple hours, you do a little bit of some jungle traversing with her as your guide for this brief point. You reach
I was listening.
You reach a location that can only be described as rising high above the jungle canopy is a 300-foot tall, naturally formed spire of rock with smoke issuing from a flaming beacon at the top of it. The walls of the spire are sheer and dotted with small caves that contain frail-looking ladders that hang from narrow ledges at a variety of heights. Now, Osa, because you are native to Cholton, I will allow you and you only to make history checks on these locations to see if there's any local information you may know about some of these places.
Okay.
That's crazy. That's like a freaking skyscraper.
History's intelligence, right?
It is intelligence.
I got 17.
17. You don't know anything specific about this, but you getting a look at it, you were told, from however you were told, that Cholt used to use a very complex system of signal towers, and this gives you that impression. Towers were used to send messages between cities via colored flames at night or colored smoke during the day. You imagine this is probably one of the only ones left standing.
Ooh.
That's really cool.
Now, when you get there, you guys see that there's a bit of a clearing between where the jungle ends and this large signal tower begins, this large spire. And Azaka, like as you guys get close to the edge, Azaka actually gets in front and pretty much like puts her hands back to like stop everyone from going forward. Turns around and says, "Terrafolk will see anyone going to the base of this tower. I personally suggest that it would be better to wait until nightfall." She stops and she looks for a second. And she starts sniffing. And then she perks up as if she's heard something. And then she looks at you with a little bit of a confidence. You'll see why in a second.
Uh-oh.
Silence.
Oh no.
Silence. You look out across the clearing.
Hide? I want to hide, dude. I'm scared.
And just slamming into the ground was a body.
That's always good to see.
And then Azaka, like it, and actually, let me have everyone make a Constitution saving throw real quick, or a will or a Wisdom saving throw, it's like a willpower, to see if you like recoil or get sick. I will let you choose. So it's
I'll do
wisdom or Constitution saving throw, your choice. But tell me which one you pick.
Does not help me much either way, man. Bummer. I picked con and I got 14.
14. Okay.
But I tried to hide, man.
I got a 6 for wisdom.
I'm kidding.
What'd you get for wisdom?
17.
17. Sirthos?
I got a 21 for con.
21. Okay. And Stuart?
I got a 22 for wisdom.
Okay. You are all fine.
Nice.
You guys, for those of you that make con saves, do not get sick to your stomach at the sudden sight of someone getting absolutely pulverized by gravity. For those of you that made a wisdom save, you don't get terrified by the idea of this big of a drop. Now, you look up to the sky and notice that there's a pretty significant distance away from where this body landed and where the top of the spire is at. Not a distance that's jumpable. This man was dropped from an incredibly insane height. And Azaka takes that opportunity to look and say, "That is the Terrafolk."
Great, dude.
And with that, we will go ahead and end today's session so that we can begin next session with Braving Firefinger. And also because you guys leveled up to level 2, and I don't want to You guys would have to take the time to level up, and it would be a while before I actually send you in. So you guys have leveled up to level 2. Next session, we will start with Firefinger. The actual location is you guys brave to the top of Firefinger, and hopefully do not die to the Terrafolk. As you guys can see, if a Terrafolk grabs you and drops you, there's nothing I can do about you dying.
I don't know what you mean fight Terrafolk.
With that being said, I would come ready with other character sheets because I can't control what happens. So if you get picked up and you get dropped and you're dead. So
Ethan,
Yep.
can I put heavy rocks in my bag
to fall faster,
to weigh me down so it's harder for them to pick me up?
you can try. Maybe more grab you. I don't know how it's gonna work out.
A large creature did.
I don't know how it's gonna work out, but it'll be fun. So, so with that being said, that'll give you guys the opportunity to level up and grab the things that you need just to get ready for Firefinger. The only loss of resource that we have right now is that Steward's down 1 first level spell slot. Otherwise, you guys are pretty much at full resources, like character resources, so we should be pretty good there. We're at level 2, which will be pretty nice. We'll see what you guys do here. And yeah, so do your best not to die. The game is now officially going to begin. So, with that being said, to our watchers, our viewers, thank you guys for another great session. We appreciate it. We hope you guys have a great night. Happy holiday season, a Merry Christmas, and a Happy New Year, which is upcoming. Thank you guys. Have a great night. Take care of yourself. Stay safe. Tell someone you love them. We will catch you guys in the next one.
Later.